I know you're gonna dig this.
They'll throw to second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third and tagging out. And second and two, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
I know you're gonna dig this.
What's up, everybody? This is late night tonight. Just threw this together. Supposed to do it earlier, but it was date night tonight. So I went to the movies and saw Equalizer 3. Pretty good movie. I have to say Denzel Washington is a very good actor. It's really good movie. You should go see it. I know a lot of people out there got the smart TVs or the Fire Sticks and things of that nature. I'm gonna say this to you. It's your choice to make. But when it comes to our actors and actresses, that's how they make their living. And we don't want to shortchange them at all. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to shortchange them. So, I think Dana might be coming on tonight. Dana's father still is going through some difficult times right now, so keep him in prayer. Mo probably won't be on because I got with him too late to maybe come on. If he tried to come on, we good to go with him as well. But it looked like it's just going to be more by myself tonight for at least 2 hours. You see, I got my Rams gear on, even though we took an L Monday night. They called that touchdown back, or that Atwell touchdown back. I think if we get that touchdown, we go on cruise on, win that game. But you know how the NFL is. They don't want to see the Cincinnati Bengals go 0-3. That would, God forbid that happens, they go 0-3. You know what I'm saying? If that would have happened, oh man, the world will fall apart if they went 0-3. But it is what it is. We play the Colts this weekend. Hopefully come back and get a victory. My Browns got them hated Ravens. My brother, he's a Raven fan. We getting ready to go at them. For real. This week it's gonna be a good one. It's football. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of enjoying football season right now. I think football season is pretty dope right now. Pretty dope, as they say. You know, we got all those teams that you got the Miami Dolphins. They putting up basketball scores. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, ain't it? And you got the Denver Broncos is 0-3. Quarterback change could be coming. We got the New York Giants who's 1-2. Should be 2-1. They let Arizona Cardinals come back and beat them 33-20 or something of that nature. You got the Eagles who are 3-0, but I'm not impressed with the 3-0 with them. Them Detroit Lions, baby, they looking real good. They punched the Green Bay in the mouth yesterday. You got the Atlanta Falcons, Saints, Tampa Bay, all 2-1. San Francisco's undefeated. They're 3-0. So got a lot of stuff going on with football right now. But real quick, let's go ahead and knock off this baseball stuff right here. So as you guys know, I always do baseball first, but I just had to talk about some football for a minute. So in the Major League standings, the 2023 season coming up and ending, the Baltimore Orioles, they got that 100 win. They're 100 and they're 100 wins to 59 losses. Them dudes is playing some good baseball right now. They have won 5 in a row. They've clinched. Tampa Bay Rays have clinched. Toronto's still sitting out there trying to figure out what they're going to do. Them Yankees, them guys in pinstripes, they're gone. They're on vacation, ladies and gentlemen, on vacation. Hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. Usually I have somebody listen in. Tell me if they can hear me or not. And I didn't get a chance to go on Facebook yet to see if I could be heard on Facebook. So let me check this out real quick. Let me see if it's up and running. Go on Facebook yet? Okay, so we're good to go. I see myself on Facebook. So we're good to go right now. So let's get back to it. So, like I said, them Yankees are not in it, and so Boston's not in it. Minnesota Twins have clinched the division, 85-74. We kind of thought that division would end up with a losing record, but Minnesota took the reins and said, "Look, if you don't want it, I'm gonna take it." So they're in. Out west, Texas Rangers, Houston. That is the battle right now. Texas, Houston, and Seattle all battling to get in with Toronto. Look like the Rangers are back in the winning seat there where they lost. They lost one game. They lost one game right now. They're 7-3 in the last 10. And it looked like Toronto is beating the Tampa Bay Rays 11-4. Now, I wonder, is Tampa letting Toronto win that game so they can get get one of the wild card spots. And in the National League right now, Washington is beating Atlanta 10-6. San Diego is beating White Sox 3-0. Milwaukee is 3-0 on Chicago. Kansas City is 5-10 on the Yankees. And I think that game is on TV. How dare they? How dare they put that game on television? How dare they? Cincinnati 14-2. Oakland and LA. LA Angels are 0-0. I think that game just started, if I'm not mistaken. And you got the Texas Rangers at Seattle, which is going to be a good game tonight. You got the Dodgers and the Giants coming up. Speaking of the Giants, they fired their skipper, so they're looking for a new dude to save them next year. Marlins played the Pirates. Well, the Marlins beat the Pirates 4-3. Guardians won 7-5 over Tigers. Red Sox is 3-0 on the Orioles, and Phillies and Mets have been postponed because of the weather. All right, so real quick, let's get back to the standings and see what we got going on. Like I said, the wild card thing has been a wild card. So right now, Tampa Bay Rays are in. Okay, Toronto, Houston, and Mariners are all fighting for that spot behind Tampa because 3 teams gets in. And if you look at it, if you go back to the standings, let me go back to the standings real quick and give you the percentage of who you think can get in. So the percentage has Tampa Bay Rays 100% playoff chances. You got Toronto with 93.5%. Then you got Texans at 97%. You got the Houston Astros at 76.4%, and you got the Seattle Mariners at 33.1%. And the reason why it's like that is because I think Seattle plays Texans and those guys. Let's real quick. Let's look at their schedule. Okay, so in Seattle's schedule, they playing the Texans, right? So that's why they probably gave them that low percentage. So they beat the Texans yesterday. They play them again tonight. They play them on the 30th and play them on the 1st. So every game matters to those guys. And So if we go back and we look at Houston's schedule right now at the end, let's see what Houston got going forward. So Houston has they took 2 out of 3 from Seattle. They have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are not playing for anything but to be a spoiler to the Houston Astros. So let's see how that thing turns out. Right there, that is going to be it's going to be an epic final couple of days of the season for these two teams, for all these teams right now. So looking at the standings again, let me go back to the standings real quick here. Full standings. So in the National League, Atlanta Braves are in. They got 103 wins. Phillies are in 89 and 70. Milwaukee is in. Chicago, Cincinnati, the Marlins, and the Diamondbacks are all fighting to get in. Okay, so the Marlins have a 68.1% chance of making it. The Cubs got a 26.4 chance of making it. Cincinnati Reds has a 7.9 chance of making it. And the Diamondbacks have a 97.6 chance of making it. But you remember, Diamondbacks are playing the Houston Astros. And it ain't kind of weird that the Astros and the Diamondbacks right now are fighting to get into that wild card position. It's kind of strange, but I've seen stranger things happen before. So it looked like it could be the Marlins. You got the Phillies, the Marlins, and maybe Arizona maybe gets in. For a long shot for Cincinnati. They have excuse me. They're 81 and 78. Chicago Cubs are 82 and 77. The Diamondbacks are 84 and 75. Phillies are 89 and 70. They're already in. The Marlins are 83 and 76. And if we look at the wild card division for the National League, it looked kind of sticky, icky. So Diamondbacks and Marlins right now, if the season were to end, those three teams would get into the wild card. I'm kind of scared of the Marlins. Marlins played the Dodgers really good this season. I don't really care about the Diamondbacks. I think we can handle Diamondbacks. Philly, they've been playing for second place all year long. I don't even think they cared about winning the division the way they were playing. But again, they playing good baseball. So let's see where the thing come October 1st, where everybody be at. And if your team's in the race, good luck to your team. Hopefully they can get in as well. Okay. So that's it for baseball. I was hoping Dana could get in, but I don't see him just yet. He says, I'm not going to make it because we are still there meeting with the doctor because they decided to see it. A moment. Okay, so look like got some good news. Dana's dad might be coming home. So thank you for all the prayers for Dana and his father. Good chance he might be coming home. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. That's what I'm talking about. Get a chance to come home. Oh, daughter. Okay. What they gotta do with In the Zone Sports? I have no idea. So let me just look at In the Zone Sports page what we got out there. So Dana did send in his picks. Okay, got the Jags, Dolphins, Vikings, Broncos, Browns, Steelers, Colts, Saints, Eagles, Bengals, Chargers, and Patriots. And I'm probably gonna get Mo's tomorrow, and I can find out what's going on with that situation. Also, if you live in the Harrisburg area and you are female and you want to play football, let's see what we got here. Come check out the Harrisburg Havocs women's football team and the Dauphin County Comanches football team, both now recruiting for 2024 football season. No experience needed workouts. at Coons Park, 630 Laurel Street, Lingelstown, PA. Let me pull up the whole. Let's see what I got here. Okay, Saturday. This Saturday coming up at 11:30, they'll be doing tryouts and things of that nature for women's football. So if you want to check them out, I'm gonna be there. Go ahead and check that out. Dana also said the 49 Chiefs, Seahawks are my picks for the pickup. All right, thanks, Dana. I appreciate it, brother. So let's get back to what's going on in the world of sports again. So, as everybody know, let me ask you guys a question. I gotta ask y'all guys a question. Do you think 82 games is too much for the NBA? I've always battled with this situation of how many games they should play. And I think that the less games you play, the more quality of basketball you get. I think that, right now they got it that you have to play 65 games to be in any category for any type of NBA awards like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. They had to put that into play because you had so many guys sitting out. So I go back and I say, well, let's not make it 65 games. Let's give us 72 games. Okay, that's 10 less games we're playing right now. But the reason why I say play less games is because I think the quality of basketball would be so much better if you play less games, because now every game matters. How many times have you watched a basketball game, an NBA basketball game, and at the beginning of the season, and you hear, basketball season really don't start until after All-Star break, and after All-Star break, you playing less than 20 games. I'm playing because the All-Star game is getting pushed back again because of the Super Bowl is going to be, I think, the second week of February. It might be the weekend of my birthday. My birthday is February 10th. So if you guys want to give me a birthday shout out on the February 10th, y'all can. If y'all want to send me some gifts, y'all can. However, whatever you want to do for K Dix, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. I ain't gonna be mad at you. But they pushing it back. So that pushes the All-Star game back. So pushing the All-Star game back means that they're gonna play less games after All-Star break. Because now you gotta remember, All-Star break, everybody's off for a week for All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you need a whole week to be off for the All-Star break, but that's what they negotiated in their contract. Okay. So you gotta abide by the contract. That's what they want to do. But I'm just saying, if you're playing 65 games, if you play 72 games, that's 10 less games that you play during the season. That's 10 less games you got to worry about your players being hurt. Because I think this season is going to be an exciting season because my man Dame is in Milwaukee. Oh, yeah, Giannis got happy. Now, we're going to talk about that as well. But my question to you guys out there is, how many games do you think the NBA should go? 82? I say 72. And get rid of the 65 games that you have to play to get award. Because you go 72 games, now you should see everybody playing in 72 games. Because now you got 10 less games. Games matter. Okay. The awards matter. And if you still say 65, you gotta play 65 games, that would involve pretty much everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you go 82 games and you play 65 games, your 82 minus 65, last time I checked, that's 17 games. Yeah. You missed 17 games. That's not a lot in the NBA season for real. It's not a lot, right? But if you take it to 72 and keep it at 65 to qualify, you get more guys will play in that scenario than not. Commissioner, you got to get this thing right, please. Just change it, man. You want to say that it's all about the money. And my thing is that if it is about the money, that's fine. But is 10 games going to break the bank for you if you don't play them? Is that 10 games, do that 10 games matter at the end of the season where you have teams that's going to tank? You have teams that's going to, the team's going to qualify at that point in time for the NBA finals, for the playoffs for the NBA. I'm just going to take a look real quick. Also, up in some more basketball news, the New York Liberty beat my Connecticut Suns 92-81, and they're up 2-1 on them in the series. Dallas is beating the Aces 23-22. The Aces up 2-0 in that series. The Aces are hot right now. I think that's going to be the team that wins it all again. But going back to men's basketball, okay, so if you look at the NBA teams, right, and pretty much I think it's probably could stay the same. I don't really see anybody getting, there's teams that got better, but how much better did they get? And if you look in the East, right, so you got Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Cleveland, New York Knicks, and Brooklyn, who made the playoffs last year. You had the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat got to play in, okay? The Pacers, the Wizards, the Orlando Magic, the Charlotte Hornets, Detroit Pistons. Do anybody feel like they're going to make a jump to get in the play-in games, or do you think they could be qualified to make a playoff spot? Could they be one of the top 7 teams in the playoffs, or 8 teams? Excuse me. Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 6 teams, and then you got your play-in games. So do anybody out there think the Pacers, the Wizards, the Magic, the Hornets, the Pistons can make the playoffs? Can they make the playoffs? I would probably say that the Pacers have gotten better. I think the Pacers could be a play-in team. Okay. Atlanta Hawks is still a playoff team. Miami could be outside looking in because they lost all the players to free agency. Okay. The Bulls, Toronto. I think Toronto is an up-and-coming team. I think Toronto can make the play-in game. But I see maybe Miami not getting in the playoffs, right? So if you look at it, Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs, Knicks, and Brooklyn. So the Knicks don't have nobody that's going to sit down, but maybe Randall. Randall may sit down a couple games. Brooklyn is young, so them guys won't probably play all the time. Cleveland, you got Donovan there. He may sit some games. Okay. Sixers, you got Embiid there. He could probably sit some games because he's never healthy for a full season. And then you don't know the situation with James Harden. If James Harden's going to stay, go, kick the can, go to Japan or whatever. I don't know what he's going to do. Boston has made improvements with Porzingis, and they're in the running to get Jrue Holiday. Milwaukee Bucks, we know what Milwaukee did. They went out and got Damian Lillard, right? And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But the teams, the 7 teams that make the playoffs, right? You don't hear a lot of low management with those teams. You know what I'm saying? So those guys going to play. They're going to play those 65 games plus some. But if you have it at 72, that's only 7 games more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have it at 72 going into next year, not this season, but the next season, if you have 72 games and 65 qualifiers for getting awards, now you have 7 games that they can't play in, right? But now you're saying that if you don't play in 65 games, you don't get this, you can't get your Supermax, you can't get this, you can't get that. And I think that you're going to see coming up after this season, you're going to see when contracts when it's time to do contracts, especially with the rookies, and even with some veterans, there's going to be a lot of verbiage in there that says you have to play these many games to get this type of money. Okay, you have to score this many points. You have to do this. You got there's gonna be all little fine line print stuff in there that's gonna motivate this guy to play more basketball. When you got guys like Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Paul George, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, guys like that, Steph Curry, and you guys knows every team I'm talking about basically is out west that I'm really talking about that due to low management. Philly, you got Embiid, who's still trying to get accolades to be one of the greatest players. He beat a lot of he knocked out Wilt Chamberlain a couple of records. I don't know exactly which ones they are, but you notice the pattern I'm saying here. You know what I'm saying? You have um Dallas Mavericks who's going to probably load management. Okay, San Antonio Spurs ain't got nobody to load management with. So them rookies down there, them horses, them thoroughbreds should get out there and run up and down the court like they never ran before. Okay, you got the Pelicans. We don't know what's going on with round mound, the rebound part two in Williamson. We don't know what's going on with him. Oklahoma City's young team, they can thoroughbred run. Minnesota is not, they're in the middle of being young and old. But the center they got there is his name's mistakes me. I mean his name, I can't remember. I see his face. Anthony Townsend. Um, um, Townsend. He's a little bit long in the tooth, but I can see him maybe doing a little low management. You look at the Lakers, you can be sure that LeBron does going to do low management. Anthony Davis is going to do low management because they don't care about trying to win the MVP. They don't care about winning the Defensive Player Award. They don't care about winning Six Man Award. They don't care about that. They're all about winning titles. So you're going to see that low management with them. Golden State's the same way. The Clippers the same way. You're going to see low management with those teams because those guys are all about getting to the playoffs and revving it up, turning that notch up just a little bit more than what they did during the season so they can be ready to play. Denver Nuggets are young. Memphis is young. Sacramento Kings are young. Phoenix has really gotten younger. You know what I'm saying? So those guys definitely can play every game. But as you know, every team I'm talking about low management, there are teams out west. In the East, only team I can honestly sit and say that's going to low management is the 76ers with Embiid and maybe James Harden. Milwaukee, Giannis ain't gonna sit down. He gonna play. Tatum and Brown gonna play. You know, now Al Horford probably would do low management, but Al Horford's not going to be a starter this year. I don't believe. Okay, Atlanta Hawks, they're not. They want to get a home court advantage, so they're going to play. Miami Heat's going to try their best to be better than what they were last year, but they have not achieved the goal because they didn't get the golden ticket. Okay, Toronto, young guys, they can run like thoroughbreds. Pacers is going to be really exciting to watch. They got the one guard from Miami. I can't think of his name right now, but they're going to be an exciting team to watch. The Wizards going to be young. They got Poole. He's going to set the tone for that team because he's going to show everybody that he is a good player. I mean, he's not a good player, but he's a great player. I can't wait to see when the Washington Wizards play the Golden State Warriors. That's going to be a sight to see. That should have been a game for like Christmas Day or something like that. They should have their own special. They should have a holiday game. You know what I'm saying? It's not no rivalry, but you got Jordan, you got Poole over there that said, yo, you traded me for him and him and him and him and him. This is a team that wanted me. Now I'm gonna show you why this team wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Orlando, if the young boy can stay healthy, they're gonna be a sight for sore eyes. Their wingspan on the backcourt, if they stretch out all three of them, they go from inline to inline. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be exciting to watch. Detroit should be exciting to watch too. They got a young boy up there. Charlotte is the one that probably will be in the running for the #1 pick next year because they got some players, and I don't be surprised if you see Charlotte in the dumpster fire as far as trading players before deadline to get underneath a salary cap to make some moves to get a better team, or even try to get that lottery pick coming up. Because I don't know who should be number one in the NBA next year. I have to read up on it because I don't read, I don't do the mock draft thing. Only reason I do the mock draft is because I look at the players that may be going to be coming out that year, coming out next year. So I analyzed them, I watched them, and I said, okay, well, maybe he could be that player. You know what I'm saying? And then, if he goes to college, or if you go to college, or you're in the G League, or something of that nature, you're playing overseas, then that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I think the Charlotte Hornets might be in that realm of what they're going to do. But again, getting back to the 65 games, I believe you go 72, then you get Kawhi Leonard playing almost most all the games. He's not going. He can't afford to sit out 7 games because now every game matters. Every game matters. One game 20 matters. Game 30 matters. All the games matter unless somebody comes out and just runs away with the number 1 seed in the East and the West. Then you'll say, okay, we can't get the number 1 seed. We'll try for number 2 seed. If we can't get number 2 seed, we'll try for number 3 seed. And I think once you get to that point, if you can't get a seed, if you're 4, 5, or 6, you're like, you know what? Okay, we're gonna rest some dudes because this is where we're gonna be. We're gonna be that 4, 5, 6 seed. Bottom line, it's not gonna change anything at all. We'll have home court advantage for 1 series, and that's gonna be it. We got to go on the road. Game 7 will be on the road. We got to put it in our mindset. We already know this is gonna happen, so we just go out and take care of business at home. And then if we take care of business at home, we're gonna win. If we win 3 games at home, okay, and then that game 7 comes up, down, it's anybody's game. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you're home or not, it's anybody's game. You look at what Miami did with Boston game 7 at home, and they gave us a shellacking, baby. Yes, they did. So in the East, I don't really see a lot of that, but in the West, Denver gonna be right there again. Memphis, I'm excited for Memphis to see how Marcus Smart helps these young guys develop their basketball game to be a defensive team, not just a shooting team, but a defensive team. Sacramento Kings is going to be really exciting to see. Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant there after a whole training camp, and then you got Bradley Beal out there. We're gonna see how that thing turns out to be. I'm gonna say this though: if they score 120, the other team gonna have 119 or 122. Or if they score 130, they're gonna have the other team gonna have 129 or 133 because Phoenix is not gonna play any defense. They're gonna shoot the ball well. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see where that goes from here. With the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers, we know who the Clippers are. What the Clippers are. I know Drew Holiday's name has been mentioned, but if let's talk about Drew for a minute. Let's talk about Drew for a minute. So if you're Drew Holiday, where do I want to go? Okay. There's teams out there that said, the Lakers, the Clippers were some names that came out for the West team. Boston, Philly, New York, Miami. So if you're Drew Holiday, where do you really want to go? Okay. And even though I'm biased to be a Boston Celtic, I think Boston has the assets to get Drew Holiday, but I don't want them to give up a whole lot to get him. Okay, give up 1 player and give up some draft picks. Okay, we don't want to give up no 2nd round draft picks that we got because we got a plan going forward for next year. And if you guys ain't read about it, just go ahead and just Google and say, what is the plan in 2026? I want to say 2026. Because it's 2023, going 2024. It's a player that if he comes out next year, they'll be ready to grab him. They'll be ready to grab him. And most of you guys probably know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say his name, but you probably know. You can guess who it is. Okay. Also, if you want to call into the show, the number is 512-543-4462. Just pop on in, holler at K Dix, and we can have a conversation about whatever you want to have a conversation about, and then we can move it on from there. But getting back to the NBA, okay? So again, I'm still saying 72 games should be the max. And then also you gotta remember they're throwing in this playing tournament crap, right? So that's extra games you're playing. So I'm like, come on, commissioner, give us a solid. Give us a solid. Go back to the table and let's renegotiate about the games we play. Now, as an owner, is 10 games really going to hurt my pocket? Is the question that's going to be asked. You know what I'm saying? And then then the owner's gonna say, well, no, not really. And if you can get all your star players to play, excuse me, let me get my water here. If you get all your star players to play 72 games, that makes the NBA that much more exciting. Okay. Even though we know the NBA is special right now. And what I mean by special is nobody wants to play defense. We saw it in the FIBA games. The young dudes didn't know how to play zone. They don't know how to play zone. What is wrong with that right there? But getting back to Jrue Holiday. So if I'm Jrue Holiday, I want to go somewhere where I can contribute, and I could probably be a starter, or I could be the sixth man coming off the bench. But my job is not that difficult, and my job's not that hard. Where can he go? He fits in perfectly with a team, and he just adds on to the ability to win games. You know what I'm saying? And he don't have to work hard to get there, because the whole idea of putting 5 guys on the basketball court is to put the best 5 out there that compete at the highest level. Oh man, excuse me again. You can put the best 5 out there on the floor that compete together. That makes the job that much easier for all 5 players. And I'm gonna put it to you like this. I know Jordan won 6 titles in a row. Well, not in a row, but he won 6 titles. Okay. But I have never seen, and they might have had the best record, right? But I never seen a 5 like Magic Johnson and the boys, Larry Bird and the boys, who made the game so easy for all 5 players on the court. They all excelled at a higher level because they had all 5 players that could play the game of basketball. Now, let's just say, I want to believe back in the day that their basketball IQ was really good, okay, because they played so well together. The only other team I could say in a recent history that probably was like that, I gotta say Golden State. Because Steph made it easy for Clay. Clay made it easy for Steph. Draymond made it easy for all of them. Who else they got over there? Draymond made it easy for the other guys because Draymond was a dirty guy. Not the dirty guy, but he did all the dirty work. He get the rebounds. He do the boxing now. And he didn't have to shoot. He don't care if he shoots or not. Just as long as the way he contributes makes the game easier for everybody else. So that means that Clay and Curry didn't have to go down in the paint and get rebounds. You know what I'm saying? But if I go back and look at even though I was even throwing the Sixers in that category with the Lakers and the Celtics back in the day, the starting 5 was always on point. It was the bench that had to struggle. They had to get a good bench in order for them to win, because the starting 5 was extremely intelligent on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? So it made the game come easy to all of them. Okay. The only reason why the game got harder for them because they got older and injuries played a part of them playing the game of basketball. So if I'm Jrue Holiday, if I'm really thinking about where I want to go, it got to be somewhere that it's easy, going to be easy for me. So if he goes, let's say if he goes to the Clippers, it's not going to be easy for him because that Kawhi Leonard ain't going to play some games. Paul George ain't going to play some games. So now he got to be the man on the court. So that means he got to work harder to win games while they sitting there chilling on the sideline because they just don't feel like playing tonight. You know what I'm saying? Who else out there? He probably could be a good fit for Oklahoma City, but are they ready to win right now? You know what I'm saying? And the Lakers, they got D'Angelo Russell, but now D'Angelo Russell didn't show up in the playoffs. So would Portland Trailblazers trade D'Angelo Russell for Drew Holiday? But the problem with the Lakers is the Lakers have no draft picks. They have no capital. They have nothing to give nobody. They got picks for 2045 they can give somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's how long they got draft picks to do. Could he go to Sacramento? I think Sacramento's already strict with Tyler Halliburton, whatever his name is out there. He can't go to Phoenix. They got the guard play out there. No, actually, he can't go to Phoenix because you got Booker and you got Big and Bill there, right? So that's not a good fit for him. You know what I'm saying? Memphis is already set. Memphis they're not contenders right now to win anything. Somebody said the Lakers, but again, what does the Lakers have that whoever that is? Let me go back to the page and see that. Mr. Henderson, tell me what the Lakers have to give Portland for Drew Holiday. Your draft picks are depleted right now. You don't have no first round draft picks to 2060 maybe or something like that. I'm just joking, but you don't have any draft picks to give them. D'Angelo Russell and Drew Holiday's, I don't think the contract matches, right? I'm figuring Russell too, but I don't think the contract matches. I think that it would have to be more for Drew. I mean, it had to be more for Portland to get back from LA than just Russell, because Portland's basically got picks now, and they're gonna build on the picks they're gonna have, because we know there's not too many free agents go to Portland because it's not one of those places, right? So if you're saying this Drew Holiday against D'Angelo Russell, you got to bring me something more than that. I'm the GM for Milwaukee. I mean, I'm the GM for Portland, and I need more than that. I need more than that. And I'm going to pull up the trade machine. Let's see if that will work, right? Because I don't know I don't know what the money is with those two guys. I really don't know. So I'm pulling up the trade machine for Mr. Anderson right here. I'm gonna add the Lakers, and I'm gonna add Portland. Okay, so Drew Holiday has a 2-year deal, 36 and some change. D'Angelo Russell can't look. He can't be traded right now. That means it would have to be after. It would have to be after the All-Star break if you could trade him. But D'Angelo Russell is 2 years at $17 million, so the money's not going to match. So I'm looking at the Lakers team right now, okay. And if I'm Portland, I'm looking and saying to myself, okay, Hachimura, he'd be a guy I would like to have, but they're not going to trade him because he's a starter, right? They just signed Gabe Vincent, so he's going to be there. I don't see like they got Cam Reddish out there, but you just signed Cam Reddish, so you're not going to move him. You got some young dudes. You got Maxi Christie, and you got Scottie Pittman's son out there. Yeah, I don't see that happening with the Lakers. I don't see that happening with the Lakers. But again, Mr. Henderson, I'm gonna say this to you. We know that the Lakers going to do some load management, right? So now Drew Holiday has got to be the guy out there. OKC has the most picks to give, but they already have I agree. I agree with you on that one right there. But the question to that is, are they championship? If Drew Holiday goes there, are they going to be championship ready? Are they going to be the team that's going to get the number 1 seed out there, for one, or the number 2 or the number 3? Okay, I would say OKC with a year underneath their belt, they could be at best a 5 or a 6. Okay, but Drew Holiday wants to go to a team that wants to win a championship right now. Lakers would be one of the ideal places, but the Lakers don't have nothing to give them, right? They don't have no draft picks. They the salary cap, they're probably way over the salary. As I'm just looking at some things right here. And all their money is invested in LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now I think they probably would, if they could have went back, they probably would have not signed Anthony Davis to that 2-year 40 million, now that they see what's going on. And let me pull up one more thing for you. I'm gonna pull up the salary cap and see where they're sitting at. Let's take a look here. Okay, so cap track. Okay. So as of right now, why can't I see the whole page? The team with the most cap is the Detroit Pistons. They got $314 million in salary cap space. The Lakers, I'm going down here to the Lakers, are negative $46 million in cap space. Okay. The total salary is almost $200 million. Okay. So that's going to be a hard sell. You look at pretty much everybody's in negative except for Utah Jazz and Detroit Pistons. Now, could he go to Utah? What about Dallas? They just lost Wood. Yeah, but they got Kyrie. So you're gonna run a 2-guard offense with 2 point guards? I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. So everybody's pretty much everybody's capped out right now. So wherever he goes, the total cap is gonna be hit. But what they're saying, though, the teams that are interested in him are the Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers. I think Drew comes off the no. So let me ask you a question about that statement you just made. Drew come off the bench for Kyrie. If you got Drew on your team on the Dallas Mavericks, do that make them a 1, 2, or 3 seed? Does that make them better than the top 3 teams in the West if he comes off the bench? Again, Drew Holiday said, I want to go to a contender. Okay. And I can pull it up for you if you'd like me to. See here. Okay, so these are teams that he could go to, but it's going to be hard for him to go to. The Heat, the 76ers, the Clippers, the Celtics are all teams that have that would like for him to go there. But he has already mentioned that he wants to go to a contender. I think Denver losing players and LA being an older team, Dallas could make a run with Drew as a key 6th man. I find that hard to believe. And the Warriors are older. Yeah, the Warriors are older. And they got and the Warriors have Chris Paul, so we know he's not going there. Okay. they're not going to trade Chris Paul to Portland. They get older to a player that can't finish out the season. Denver lost players, but they didn't lose. They didn't lose the key players. They didn't lose. Well, they didn't lose. Porter. What's his name? His name Porter. Kevin Porter. Whoever the big dude is. They kind of lost some players, but they didn't lose the nucleus of their team. So I don't know if that would be a good fit at either. So if you look at it, if you go back and look at the NBA, I think that he ends up in the East. But would it be weird though? Is that if you let's look at this trade. Let's look at this trade thing here real quick. NBA trade. I'm gonna throw. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you what team I'm using yet. Portland, Portland's in it, but I'm come up with a second team from the East. Okay. And I'm gonna throw this dude's name out here. I think this would match. I think this would match. Trade fails. Oh, the Heat are over the luxury tax threshold with the trade, and the incoming aggregated salary exceeds what allows via the 125% plus $100,000 rule. Cut $7,000 from the Heat income trading value makes this trade successful. So in order for him to go to, and I'll use Tyler Hero. Okay, so let me go back and adjust this trade real quick. I'm gonna adjust this trade. Tyler Hero, and let me see who else can I throw in here. For who else? They kind of high on Highsmith. Highsmith. Let's see here what we got. Let's see if the trade fails too. So it would have to be Jrue Holiday and somebody else. Okay, that's not going to happen. So now you're saying the Celtics, and I'm not being biased because that's my team, but I think that will probably be the perfect spot for him because he could be a starter, and you could run him and Derek White as a guards, okay, and keep your nucleus together. So let's go out and let's see what we could do with Jrue Holiday coming to Boston. Boston gives up Brogdon, Pritchard, and I'm gonna throw Luke Cornett in there. Boston says over the salary cap threshold, you'll have to cut $5,000. So let's adjust. Let me see if I can adjust this trade. So trade exception. Let's throw Sam Hauser in that deal. Now I gotta cut another 2,000. So I got Brogdon, Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser. And if I were to I hate to do this, but I might have to do this. I'm going to have to throw Al Horford in that trade. So this is the weird thing about it, right? So Brogdon, Al Horford, Pritchard, Luke Cornett, and Sam Hauser makes a trade successful. Okay, but they're saying to analyze it is Boston gets 8 losses and Portland gets a plus 11. So again, now you're looking at how many players you have to put into this deal to make this deal happen. So that's how hard it's going to be for Jrue to go to a team that's already a competitive team. It's going to be really, really hard. That's why you might have to get a third team in there. And let's look at I think that Sixers probably could be a better place for him trade wise. They might have more to give up than anybody else. So if we go here to where we at, Portland. So you know that James Harden wants to leave. Bam. Jrue Holiday comes there. Trade successful. So that makes sense. But you know what they're saying? If Jrue Holiday would go to the 76ers for James Harden, Portland gets a +9 wins, Philly gets a -12 wins. But you're not getting Jrue Holiday for the regular season. You're getting Jrue Holiday for the playoffs. So would that matter? Would that truly matter if that was the case? But it did. But it worked. That it was those two players made it simple. But the thing about it is that if you trade James Harden to Portland, he's probably going to ask out, and he's probably going to end up going to the Clippers where he wants to go. Okay, so that's that. So basically, Sixers got to throw in some. They got to throw in some draft picks in order for that to really happen. I think, and I think with Portland, anybody, I don't even know if they really want another body for Jrue Holiday. I think they just want draft picks to build off of in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because in all actuality, though, how much of an upgrade is Damian Lillard to Jrue Holiday? Let's really think about it. You know what I'm saying? If Jrue Holiday is not on that team, they don't win the championship. If Jrue Holiday is not on that team, they're not as competitive as they are because he's a two-way guy. You know what I'm saying? And the two-way thing gets on my nerves because I look at basketball as you should already be a two-way guy. Don't come and say, I'm the best two-way guard or two-way center out here in the game. That's part of your job is play offense and be defense. Don't change the game up in the middle of the game. Leave it as it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? But Jrue Holiday plays off. He's an offensive guard. He's a good guard offensively, and he plays defense. So did you really upgrade the Milwaukee Bucks? Now Vegas has them winning it all with Damian Lillard, right? But again, now we got to see what type of defense he plays because we know he can shoot the ball. He can shoot lights out the ball. He can shoot the ball. But how is he going to fit in defensively is the question. Okay. And that's what we all want to see is defensively, can he fit in? Because we know out in the East, they play defense. Out West, they just run up and down the court. You know, that's all they do. Back and forth, just back and forth, just back and forth. But can Damian Lillard come out and play defense when he needs to play defense is the ultimate question. Ultimate question. So we're going to see where that goes. But again, this leads me to my next segment real quick. But getting back to the Jrue Holiday thing and the Damian Lillard thing. I'm so happy that he didn't go to Miami. I'll be honest with you. And I think that Miami didn't have the assets to get him. And at the end of the day, people say, well, Portland should have just traded him to Miami for a bag of sugar and a lump of coal, because Damian Lillard has been so faithful to Portland that they should let him go wherever he wants to go. The West has better overall players. I gotta disagree with you on that one. I gotta disagree with you on that one. And I'm gonna tell you this why. Look at who won the MVP the last couple of years. Giannis twice. Embiid should have won it twice. And you got the Joker out there in Denver who won it. You know what I'm saying? So you got out of the last 4 years, you got two guys from the East that won it. And then we go back, then we look at LeBron that has won it. Who else out East? Who else out the West have won MVP other than the Joker in the last couple of years? I think LeBron has been leading the league in it. Giannis has won it twice in a row. Embiid had just won it, who should, again, like I felt like he should have won it 2 years in a row, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I got to disagree with you on them having the best players overall. But getting back to what I was saying though, is that if you the situation, it's easy to play defense when you don't have to play Bron, Curry, Clay, Joker, Kyrie, Luka.
This call may be recorded or transcribed.
But the whole thing that you're saying right here, the whole thing that you're talking about right here is that the guys that you just naming, LeBron don't play the defense right now. He plays more of his own. AD plays the low defense. Curry plays no defense. Clay plays no defense. Joker plays some defense. Kyrie plays no defense. Luka plays no defense. Kawhi plays defense. Paul George plays a little different. Booker don't play defense. KD's play defense, right? So KD, when he won MVP, he won it with when he's with Oklahoma, I think. So Bron has won the MVP with Cleveland and Miami. AD has never won MVP. Okay, Curry has won MVP. Clay hasn't won. Joker has won. Kyrie hasn't won. Luka hasn't won. Kyrie, I don't know if Kyrie ever won MVP or not. Paul George has never won. Booker has never won. But KD did. But KD did it with Oklahoma, right? But everybody you just named, I don't know, right now, out of all them guys you just named, to me, the best defensive players on that team, I think it's Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard still plays good defense when he plays. I think KD plays good defense when he plays. LeBron plays a zone man. AD, he can block shots. Curry plays no defense though. Clay's a little slow now because of knee. Joker don't play no. Kyrie plays no. Luka does not play any. Paul George, he can play. Booker plays no defense at all. I'm saying these guys are all offensive juggernauts, so it's easy to play defense in the East because they're all guys on the West. I understand what you're saying, but when it comes down to it, somebody got to play defense, right? And we know that you only play defense the last 2 minutes every quarter if the game's close. If the game is close. You know what I'm saying? If the game is close. But getting back to Drew Holiday, he wants to play for a contender because he's up in years. You know, he's got a 2-year contract that has $36 million left on it. If Philly could make that trade happen, they would make it happen. But we know that James Harden is not going to stay there because that puts him in a position where he can't play for a title. So he's going to ask to be brought out, and he's going to go to the Clippers, and he's going to go there and be the man for 10 games in a row, and then Kawhi's going to come off the bench. I mean, Kawhi's going to want to play, then George is going to want to play, and then he becomes the third wheel in this team, as he is with the 76ers. He's the third. To me, you got Embiid and you got Maxey, and now you got James Harden. James Harden is mad because he didn't get the money. He's mad because he didn't get the money. So if I'm Philly, I'm saying, okay, if you think you're that good and you think that you're worth the max contract or whatever you thought you was going to get, we're going to trade you to Portland. Portland's going to buy you out, and then you're going to sign for the league minimum to play in with the Clippers, right? So you're not going to get your money, but you might get an opportunity to play for a championship. You know what I'm saying? So that might be a move that James Harden could make, to go to the Clippers and play for the league minimum. You know what I'm saying? At least he's on a team that's a contender. He's on a team that has opportunity to win games, get deep in the playoffs. My personal opinion, I think Tyronn Lue is getting. If I'm Tyronn Lue, if we can't get to the finals this year, I'm quitting. You can have. I'm be like, yo, look, check this out. Check this out. I'm the coach. I'm done after this year. And if you don't want to pay me, you don't have to pay me. I'm going to go coach somewhere else. Bottom line, take your money back, because if I take your money, that means I can't coach for maybe a year or so. So that means I can't coach nowhere. So take your money back. Let me go somewhere else where I can be a coach, you know, and play with guys that want to play basketball. like Detroit or Orlando. Not saying anything wrong with the coaches they have down there, but I think Tyronn Lue is a good coach. I really do. I think he's learned from some of the best coaches out there, and he should get opportunity to coach some guys that want to play basketball all 72 games. I'm talking about 72 game season. I'm not talking about 82 games, I'm talking about 72 game season. So that's where I'm at with that right there, because if Philly does that move, they give them draft picks, right? Because they don't have nothing else that they're not sending Maxey to Portland. You know what I'm saying? Portland's like, okay, we're in a rebuild mode. We got Scooter McRae or whatever the kid's name is. He's gonna be the guy for us going forward. So we're cool with that. So we're gonna build around him. We're gonna get the draft picks. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. And if we tank like San Antonio Spurs tanked last year to get the best player who's coming out of college next year, then so be it. You're building a team from drafting and not from free agency, because we know Portland, nobody goes to Portland for free agency. It's simple as that. Nobody goes there. You know what I'm saying? Not that they have some of the most faithful fans out there. They'll follow that team to the end of the earth. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is with Portland is like, okay, we'll make this move, and we'll take James Harden off of your hands. I need some draft picks though. Give me some draft picks. I need plenty of draft picks, and I'm trying to rebuild, because we know nobody's coming here free agency wise until we get a superstar out here that can ball out, that can put us in the playoffs, that can make us a 1, 2, or 3 seed, that we know we can run deep into the playoffs to get to. I mean, we can make a deep run in the playoffs. And if we don't, then there's a free agent out to say, you know what, guys, I'm the piece you need to get you over the top. I'm gonna come out and play with you guys. Okay. They look at that and say, okay, I got you. Come. I'm gonna sign with you guys. I'm gonna sign. You're gonna pay for me, but I'm gonna sign with you. And they make a run that way. Because you look at it, that's what's been going on. Even with all the buyouts that came through, being a Celtic fan, what really bothered me was that all the players that got bought out last year, like Kevin Love and all the other guys, they went somewhere else. They didn't go to Boston. But Boston was interested in all of them guys. But none of them guys came to Boston. That gotta make you scratch your head and say, why ain't nobody coming to Boston that got bought out? They got a team. Like, I'm just saying, if you take Kevin Love, put him on the Boston Celtics, and what he did for Miami, he does the same thing for Boston. Boston doesn't go down 3-0 to Miami. They might win that game in 6 games. You know what I'm saying? But as an ownership part of Boston, I gotta scratch my head and say, well, why nobody want to come here? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with here? What's wrong with me being here? What's wrong with me coming here? But Drew Holiday did say that Boston would be his destination. Boston would be the destination for him to go, because he knows what they got right now is they're right there with Milwaukee. And then you got Philly right there. I think New York going to be better. I think Cleveland's definitely going to be better. Those teams are going to be right there, you know. And he fit in with that team. He could be the point. White be the 2. You got Jalen, and you got Jalen and Jason there, and then you got Porzingis. Okay, so they're gonna just start on 5 right there. It makes the game so much easier because Drew Holiday is an upgrade offensively than Marcus Smart, but Drew Holiday does play defense, but I don't think he plays I don't think he plays defense like Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart could guard anybody on the floor. I don't know if Drew Holiday can do that. Yeah. But does Drew Holiday's offense, is his offense that good that his defense doesn't matter with that team? You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be really interesting to see where he ends up and how he gets to where he's gonna go. Again, he said he wants to go to a team that's a competitive team. And I'll be honest with you, in the back of his mind, I'm pretty sure that Drew Holiday says, I don't think they need that. They need more offense. I don't think Boston needs more offense. Boston needs to be more consistent with the offense. They live and die by the 3. And I'm gonna say this to you. If you think about the team last year, the Celtics team last year, at the 11th hour, my man becomes a coach. His whole philosophy about coach, he was the offensive coordinator for the team. And Udoka was a defensive guy, right? Udoka was all about playing defense. The coach they got now, he was all about offense. He was going to be the ones that run the plays offensively. So what he did when he became the once he became the head coach, if you look at, if you go back and look at the beginning of the season, they would average almost 127 points a game, right? They were flowing, right? But they couldn't be consistent with that because that's a lot to do for 82 games. So they faltered a little bit, right? And what hurt them more than anything else was the selection of shots that wasn't going down because they were shooting a high percentage of threes and not twos. And my thing is, I take 2 over nothing any day. That's what I do. I take 2 over nothing any day. So that right there within itself makes teams want to have to play defense because you think you take the 3 away from me, but I'm gonna get the 2, or I'm gonna get the old-fashioned 3, the and 1. The offense got stagnant. If Tatum is off the team, he's done. If Tatum is done, if Tatum is off, the team is done. Most of those guys were defensive guys. They need more guys that are good at creating their own shots off the dribble. Well, so Jason and Jalen created their own shots. I seen White create his own shots. Al Horford don't create his own shots. It's a dribble pass to him for a 3. Okay. So I seen 3 guys out of the 5 that started that could create their own shots. Marcus Smart doesn't create his own shot because that was not his forte. His forte was to play defense. So anything Marcus Smart gave them was a plus, right? If you go back and look at this, if Marcus scores over 20, 25 points, they end up losing because that means everybody else around him is not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they rely on him to be the offensive guy, and that's not his job because it takes away from them playing defense. And there's been games I've seen that happen and they lose, right? But I understand what you're saying about Tatum because if you think about it, in the game 6 in Philly, he was off the whole night. He caught fire with a minute and something left in the game, and Boston ended up winning the game. So, and now they're talking about maybe making Tatum the point guard. But if you take Tatum off the point and you have Drew Holiday as a point guard, then you're fine. Even with Derek White as the point guard, because I think Derek White creates his own shot off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they still can play defense. They still need to play defense because that's the name of the game is playing defense. Stop the other team from scoring. But I think that their level of offense this year is going to be different than it was last year because that's not what they were expected to do from the beginning of the season. Because Ime Udoka left, now they had to change everything they did. And again, if you watch them play at the beginning of the season, you go back and look, they was averaging 127, 125, 132, 120 a game until it got to the point where they couldn't do it every night because that was not their thing. But now that they have a whole year underneath their belt to do that and a training camp to get it right, that's what they're going to be a different team at that point in time. So I'm just saying you're going to see it. You're going to see the true team that he wants to have this year. Okay. And even with Prague, even though Brogdon got hurt in the playoffs, they still had opportunities to win a game. But again, getting back to the Drew Holiday thing, it's going to be really interesting where it goes. But speaking of that, your boy came out, Jimmy Butler came out and said there was some tampering going on. So now I'm going to say this to you guys. Just think about this. Damian Lillard came out and said he wanted to be traded. But prior to that, Giannis came out and said, yo, if you don't get this thing together, I'm not signing nothing. I need to know that y'all committed to winning basketball games. And this wasn't the first time he said it. It wasn't the second time he said it. It wasn't the third time. He said this several times. Several times. I need to know you guys are committed to winning. Okay. He got hurt during the playoffs. They lose to Miami. Okay. Things happen. Right. But he saw what Boston did with Porzingis. Okay. And head to head, they're pretty much even. If you go look at the stats, them playing against each other, they're pretty much even on almost every category other than block shots. I think Porzingis has more block shots than Giannis have against each other. Okay, but he looked at the East, and last year the East was open. Nobody had a clear cut favorite for the East. Milwaukee might have had the best record, but they wasn't everybody's favorite. Miami came out of nowhere. I think Miami played the possum all season long and got into the playoffs. And I think they knew how to beat Boston. That's why they lost to Atlanta. So they wouldn't have to see Boston in the first round. They could see Boston in the finals. And you see what they did. They was up 3-0 on the guys. They let 3 games in a row get away from them. And when the game really counted, Game 7 in Boston, they smacked them around. So I think Miami knew something. Miami figured out a way to beat Boston when it counted most. And basically what it was is that Boston is a more finesse team. And if you put your hands on them, they don't like that. They don't like you touching them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Miami does. That's what they do. That's their grit. That's their grind. That's all their things, right? But Jimmy Butler came out and said that there was some tampering going on. So do you guys really think that by Giannis making those comments, and you're right, Boston, I totally agree. Boston was led by soft players. They're soft players, but I'm gonna get back to that comment about soft players and the situation with Boston. But do you guys think that Giannis behind the scenes was talking to Damian Lillard about coming to Milwaukee in a sense? Because players do talk, right? But my thing is Miami can't say nothing about tampering. They have tampered ever since LeBron James went there, left there, and went somewhere else and came back. And they tampered when they got Kyle Lowry. They tampered with that situation. And it's a proven fact because they lost draft picks. But how you gonna come out? What happened behind the scenes with Milwaukee and Portland to make that deal done? Everybody knew that he wasn't going to Miami because Miami had nothing. Every player they had that went to the finals that was a free agent jumped ship because they knew that they saw the handwriting on the wall. I think Slick Hair Willie let the cat out the bag about going into Damian Lillard and saying, "Yo, let's say you want to come in, we'll get you here." And the GM of Portland said, "Yo, hold up, time out. This is what I want. I want Butler." Oh well, no, you can't have Butler. Oh, then it ain't gonna happen. I want Bam Adebayo. Oh, it's not. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted what they wanted, and Miami didn't want to give them what they wanted. So they said, "Yo, then we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait." And even though Damian's agent said he prefers to go to Miami, so don't come with no other draft picks. No other team's going to try to trade for him because he won't play there. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that because that's his job. He's going to play. He may not be happy where he's at, but he's going to play. If he goes to Boston, he's going to play. He's going to be happy there because the fans are going to embrace him so much that he's going to be like, "Yo, I can't leave here." You know, Kevin Garnett said, "I wish I would have came here much sooner because the fans here, I'm in love with the fans. They give me the energy to want to play." If he got traded to Philly, the same thing would happen in Philly. He would be embraced though. If he went to Brooklyn, the same thing would happen in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So, but Miami didn't have anything to give them. So they said, "Man, look, you better come. Tyler Hero, I'm going to tell you right now, they might have to go and try to trade Tyler Hero to somebody. He's not going to want to play in Miami at all. He's not going to want to play in Miami. He is not going to want to play there because his name kept coming up. And it didn't happen. But where I get upset with this whole thing, and maybe the tampering part of it, is that I think the trade would have happened if Damian Lillard would never said where he wanted to go. If Damian Lillard kept it underneath his hat, yo, I want to be traded, and tell Portland I want to go to Miami, I think it would have happened. I think it would have happened. But because he made a big fuss about it is the reason why it didn't happen, because Miami didn't have anything that Portland wanted. And what Portland wanted, what Miami wasn't going to give him. So he ends up going to Milwaukee, which is a great deal. But now they got Jrue Holiday. They can flip Jrue Holiday for draft picks and set yourself up for the next 2 or 3 years with some young talent out there. Again, they get in the playoffs and they see a bright future. Then they probably get a free agent, come out there and play with them young dudes and get that thing popping, right? But he did an Anthony Davis and it didn't work for him. You know what I'm saying? He ends up in Milwaukee. So, but Giannis came out and said, yo, if you don't get this thing together really soon, I'm walking. I'm going somewhere else. And then the rumors came out, he's going to Miami. He's going to LA. He's going to Boston. He's going to Philly. He's going all these other places he was going to if they didn't sign him. So Milwaukee did what they had to do, and they brought in Damian Lillard. Now the thing about that is if they don't make it to the NBA Finals, well, Giannis signed a contract extension. So was what? The Bucks gave Portland enough. They probably they didn't get I don't think the Bucks gave them enough. The Bucks gave them what they wanted. Because I think the Bucks could have took more from Portland. I think Portland could have took more from the Bucks, but they said, okay, this is all we'll take this. We're cool. We're cool with this. You know what I'm saying? We're cool with this. But he didn't go to Miami, and I'm glad he didn't go to Miami because Slick Hair Willie think he's slick, and now they're talking about tampering. And I mean, what Giannis said wasn't wrong. He said, I've been here all my career. I want to stay here all my career. And Giannis is a guy that anybody want to play with because he works at his craft to get better. He's gotten better and better every year. Now, the problem with Giannis, though, is he has to stay healthy because now he's starting to have all these elements come up at the wrong time of the season. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to work on his conditioning, his eating habits, things of that nature, so that he can stay healthy when he needs to stay healthy for the most part. Okay? It's just that simple. But getting Damian Lillard to come there is a great move for Milwaukee. I'm happy for them. That just makes this thing in the East a whole lot better. I feel like they didn't get the same value as what they were asking for Miami by any means. I totally agree with you on that. There was no value in Miami for him to leave. It was no value for Miami in the players that Miami had. Now you think about the guy that went to the shooter that went to Cleveland, the shooter that went to LA. You throw them in that draft. I mean, you throw them in that trade. Then Portland's gonna say, "Oh yeah," because now you got young dudes that got experience of playing in the NBA Finals. Oh, we can build around that. But them dudes got wind of what was going to happen, and they jumped ship. Pew, pew. They said, "Man, I'm telling you right now, if you want to talk about some tampering, let's talk about the tampering that Cleveland Cavaliers probably did in the Lakers, because them guys, when 3 o'clock came, them 2 guys were the first 2 names I saw on my phone that said sign with Cleveland, sign with the Lakers." So, and they took the money and ran because they knew if they stayed in Miami, they were going to be a part of that trade, which they didn't want to go to Portland and play with them. They want to go to a team that was going to be competitive, which Cleveland is, and which LA is, which both of them teams have a possibility or opportunity to get deep in the final, get deep in the playoffs, or make it to the finals to play for another final again. I'm not mad at them for that. After that, the couple was bare, and Slick Hair Willie couldn't figure out how to get Damian Lillard to get to Miami. I think it was a spite and also jealousy. And Mr. Innocent, I totally agree with you on that, because I'm gonna say this to you: the Miami Heat are one of the most arrogant basketball teams out there with Slick Hair Willie. If you know who Slick Hair Willie is, I'm talking about Pat Riley. Slick Hair Willie. That's why I call him Slick Hair Willie.
Oh, yeah, definitely him.
though that guy right there is, I don't know who's worse, him or Danny Ainge, because them dudes to get a trade and take advantage of you and just run with it and go on about their business. It got so bad for Danny Ainge. It's like, yo, you got to leave Boston because you're hurting us. Danny Ainge said, okay, I'll be a consultant. No, you can't do nothing for us. You can't do nothing for us. You got to leave. He goes out to Utah. And look what he did with Utah. Look how he flipped the COVID guy. The tall guy. I can't think of his name right now. Oh my goodness, I can't think of his name right now. But look how he flipped him, and look what the draft picks they got back for that. You know what I'm saying? So now he out in Utah doing the same thing he did with Boston, and sooner or later they're gonna say, "Yo, we're not trading with Utah no more." If Danny Ainge's on my phone, I'm not even gonna answer it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way Pat Riley was doing. But now Slickhead Willie got out slicked by Toronto. I mean by Portland. Portland said, "Yo, nah, man, we're not. Nope." No, you ain't got no draft picks. You ain't got no collateral. You ain't got no players. The best two of the players that played on your team that will help you go to NBA Finals are gone. So what else you got? Tyler Hero, and that's it? Are you just gonna give me Tyler Hero? What else are you giving me? I need something else other than Tyler Hero. That's all you got? Okay, let's take some time off. Let everybody go on vacation, and we'll come back and we'll readdress this situation again. A month later, they go to Miami. Okay, what you got, Tyler Hero? What about Highsmith, Tyler Hero? Can you throw in Kyle Lowry just for shits and giggles, Tyler Hero? Portland said, you know what? I'm opening this thing up. Anybody that think they want Damian Lillard, come on, give us a trade that we think we can work with, and we'll do it. The same thing with the Celtics. They wasn't getting Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard. That doesn't make sense for them to do that because he's 33. Jaylen Brown is 27 or 26 years old, still in his prime. He gets better every year, right? So that's why that trade probably didn't happen. He goes to Philly. It works in a way because Embiid wants to win right now. Embiid's another one said, look, man, if you don't get me no players here, I'm leaving too. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, yo, what you going to do? If you don't get no better players here, I'm leaving as well. So now Philly's in the same boat that Milwaukee was. And Milwaukee made a move. They punked everybody out and got my man Damian Lillard. And I really don't think there was tampering going on. I really don't. Because who else would have gave them what they got in the East? What would they got? Who were they gonna get from if Damian goes to the Lakers, what are they gonna give up? They don't want D'Angelo Russell because the dude folded like a chair in the playoffs. He ain't the dude for them. What the Clippers got? Dallas, you gonna trade Kyrie for Damian Lillard? You don't even know if Kyrie gonna play. You don't even know if Kyrie gonna play. So Portland did what was best for them, and then moved them to another team where they only got to see them twice a year, unless they make it to the finals, which we know Portland's not gonna make it to the finals. So we're okay with that. But Mr. Henderson, I'm gonna get back to you about the soft part of what you said about the Celtics. They are soft. They're too soft. And I'm gonna say this. I told a friend of mine, I said, this Boston Celtics team has been so close to get to the NBA Finals and win a championship. I said, but their heart has not been broken yet. I said, they haven't felt the pain of losing in the sense that it's going to make them hungry to come back. Because when they lost to Golden State in the finals, to me, when Steph Curry did the put me to sleep move, when he did this thing right here, I'd have put that picture on my locker. And when he did it, I put the sleep move on him. I'm putting it on my locker. I'm gonna look at that every day. Every day I come in, that's my motive. That's my motivation. That is my motivation to be a better team than what I was last year. But it didn't motivate them to the point where they went down 0-3 against the Miami Heat. That right there showed me that they wasn't ready. That they just didn't have the toughness. And Jaylen Brown can play defense, and he was horrible. He was horrible. He started playing defense the last 3 games, but the first 3 games he didn't play defense. If he played defense like he can with Marcus Smart, they get to the NBA Finals. So they're very soft. I don't like that team. I'm a Celtic fan. I don't like that team when they play like that at all. At all. If Jaylen and Jason ain't on, then it's a problem. And you got 12 other guys on the team that need to step up. I think you have Brown. I mean, you have White that's going to be he stepped up in the playoffs. He's going to be really good. So I agree with you about them being soft. I totally agree with you on that, being soft. I totally agree with you on that. But again, Milwaukee, I don't think Milwaukee did any tampering at all. And Miami can't be mad at nobody but themselves because they let them guys walk. If they was going, if I was Miami, I'm going over the salary cap to get them guys money to keep them there. Then I trade them. I do a sign and trade. They go to Milwaukee. I mean, they go to Portland, and then you bring Dame there. But they got out slick this time, and it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt Miami big time because now you got to replace 2 players that were balling in the playoffs, in the finals, against the Celtics. They were balling. The young dude, Gabe, smoking hot in the playoffs. So now they got to figure out how they're going to do that. They got to figure out how they're going to make this thing work in the long run. It's going to be really interesting. I don't think Miami went to the NBA Finals, and they're going to get the best of everybody this year. Okay? Denver, we're going to see if Denver, how good Denver really is because now they won the title, right? Can they repeat? Can they go back to the finals again, right? They're picked to come out of the West, right? But now everybody's going to give them the best. So Denver Broncos, you won a title. You thought getting to the title was hard. What's harder is defending that title because everybody's coming after you. Everybody's going to prove. Everybody's going to play their best game. All 82 games you're going to play because everybody's coming all 82 games. Miami Heat, same thing going to happen to you guys. You said, does Tatum have what it takes to win it all? I feel he's missing the Mamba mentality. I'm going to say this to you. I think if Tatum doesn't sprain the ankle in Game 7, they win. They beat Miami, right? Because he shows up in Game 7s. He takes over in Game 7s. If you go back and look at it, I think that the Mamba mentality is only one Kobe Bryant, and he's nowhere close to being Kobe Bryant because he's too nice. He's too nice of a player. He has to have the mentality that I'm going out there and I'm gonna strangle you. I'm going to kill you. No point intended on the basketball court. Even though he worked out with Kobe, he don't have that fire in his belly to do that. Now, losing Game 7 at home, and this is something. This is for the record books. They're the only team that Boston Celtics have had that lost a Game 7 at home in a series. Boston was 37-0 with Game 7, leading 3-2 with Game 7 at home, or something of that nature. And they have lost 2 Game 7s at home. They lost to Miami the one year that Tatum and Brown was together, and they lost last year, the Game 7, to Miami Heat at home. And you said the killer instinct is what I mean by that. And he doesn't have that. To me, the NBA is too soft. The whole NBA is too soft. Because you playing against guys, you play AAU basketball games, so you don't want to dog them on the basketball court. Man, I'm coming at your neck, period. Because this is my livelihood, and I want to keep making that dough. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that generational money that my kids, don't have to work unless they want to. Go to college and get an education, and then you get some of that bread. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality he needs to have this year. If he don't have it this year, then I don't know when he ever will get it. Because this is a year that he got to get it. He has to have that killer mentality right now. And with Damian Lillard coming to the East, and now Boston not the favorite to come out the East, that's more motivation for me. More motivation. That's more motivation. The Miami Heat, I would have all kind of motivation stuff on my locker that's going to motivate me for 82 games. I'm not taking the game off. I don't care. If I'm up by 25 points at halftime, I'm going to be up 50 at the end of the game. I'm like, look, when you come to play us, you better strap it up. You better get ready to play some basketball because we're coming at you. We're going to try and break all type of records possibly this year because I don't want to leave no doubt in nobody's mind who's the best team in season 2023-24 going to be. If Tatum's trying to win the MVP award, he got to have that killer instinct, Mr. Henderson. He got to have it. He got to have that type of attitude. You know what I'm saying? Working with Kobe helped him, but he didn't get a chance to work with Kobe enough to understand that, hey, comfort her neck. Don't take no prisoners. And that's what he needs to work on. That's what he needs to work on. That's what he needs to work on. So we're going to figure out how great this NBA season is going to be real soon. Because it's going to be hot and heavy in the NBA. I'm telling you. Jrue Holiday is going to be, and I'm going to say this, once Jrue Holiday but what you mean? Is it because he mixed? His mom's black, his dad's black. Now, his mom's mom might be white, but I don't know. But, you know, the society say, if you got 1 ounce of black in you, you black. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying that's what society say. I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying it's wrong, but that's what society has said. You know, that's what society has said. So we'll see where that goes. But again, I think once Jrue Holiday gets traded, then I think there's a possibility see James Harden get traded somewhere. I don't think it's going to be to the Clippers. I think that if Jrue Holiday ends up in Boston, Malcolm Brogdon ends up going to the Clippers like they wanted to do in the first place. But I'm gonna say this too. I think don't be surprised. You won't see it. It might not happen this year. But don't be surprised if you see Marcus Smart coming back to Boston as a guy that comes off the bench for defensive purposes. And anything he shoots or anything he makes is a plus. It won't happen this year because they traded him. Unless he gets traded to another team and then they can trade for him back. But what will probably end up happening if Memphis were to trade him to another team and he asked for a buyout, then he can go back to Boston. But I don't see that happening. I just see it happening in the near future. This contract that he just did, I think I see it coming somewhere down the line. Right? But I think that Brogdon's name is being brought up a lot as far as him leaving and going somewhere else. And Clippers has been a place, has been asking about him. But then he probably fit right in with the Clippers because he stays hurt all the time too. So they be low management, like 4 or 5 players. I'm here to tell Mr. Henderson he is a fool for talking crap about my Tatum. Who is that? Casey. Oh, she came at your neck, bro. She said, don't be talking crap about her about my Tatum. She said, another Boston fan. That's what's up. Raise the roof on them Southern fans. We about to turn it up, baby. About to turn this thing up. I ain't got no tickets yet for any of the games. I might be going to the game in Philly this year. I might try to go to Philly. I might try to go down to DC. Brooklyn tickets is just too much. They're just too much. And they don't have a lot of talent in Brooklyn to be paying all that type of money for them. And I always do a trip up in Boston. I didn't go last. Did I go last year? No, I didn't go last year. I went the year before that. I took my nephew up there because he got a full academic he got a full academic scholarship to college. So I treated him up there. We had a good time. So we'll probably get a chance to go. I probably am going to see Boston again. To see. I really looked at no tickets at all. But again, the NBA season is going to be so exciting coming forward. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. October's coming. You got the baseball World Series coming. You got college. And I didn't get a chance to talk about college. Let's talk about college basketball real quick. Let me see what I got. I got like 20 minutes left. Let's do okay. So I don't know what USC coach said, Lincoln Riley said about playing Colorado, but I think he gave them some bullet board material. I have no idea what he said, but I know he said something. He gave us some bullet board material. I'm not saying Colorado's going to win. If I had to guess, I would. But USC don't play no defense either, so it might be a good game. It might be a good game. But I'm looking at the top 10, and if you're still with me, Mr. Anderson, the top 10 I have Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida, Penn State, Washington, USC, Oregon, and Utah. Notre Dame went down to 11. Alabama's at 12. LSU's there. Oklahoma, North Carolina is a surprising 4-0. And Washington State is 4-0. Duke is 4-0. What's going on with the ACC? ACC, look at the ACC. Look at the ACC repping. They repping. Oh, shucks. Look at the ACC. They got 2 teams in the top 20. Oh, actually, they got 3 teams in the top 20. They got what did I say? They got North Carolina, Duke, and Miami in the top 20. Look at them. They trying to rep. I don't think he said anything crazy. There's a post going around that has Riley dogging the Buffalo, but it's a fake one. Okay. I know I didn't get a chance to watch ESPN or nothing like that. I watched Stephen A. to find an essay, to find out what he did say, but I think it might be a good game. Because my man Cave, he's going to win the Heisman again this year. Got a question for you about Mr. Williams though. Okay, so his dad came out and said, "Listen, don't tank on my son, because if you're tanking, my son may not come to you." So real quick, we're looking at the NFL standings in 2023 right now. The Jets is last, Cincinnati Bengals are last, Tennessee's last, Denver Broncos last, Giants are last, Chicago's last, Carolina's last, Arizona last. Now, there is rumors that Arizona is tanking to get Mr. Williams, but the dad said, "Yo, don't tank on my account, because my son, if you're not good, my son's not coming here. He'll stay another year." And I call that the Trevor what's the quarterback for Justin Herbert. I call it Justin Herbert syndrome. Oh yeah, his dad said he ain't come out to next year anyway. He said you can forget it coming out. But Williams' dad said, "Yo, he's not gonna come out for teams that's gonna tank for him, because he'll probably be the number 1 pick." Actually, if you look at the teams that need a quarterback, Arizona probably do. Seattle will probably need a quarterback, because I don't think what's his name gonna last, even though he got a big contract. Tampa Bay, even though they got Baker, Baker Mayfield's doing well there, but I think that's a short-term thing. You're not going to Carolina, because Carolina got a quarterback. Chicago, maybe. Minnesota, maybe. That's it. Washington, maybe. But if he goes to Minnesota, Minnesota has a decent defense, so that could be a nice place for him to go. Minnesota. He's gonna play 8 games indoors, He got Chicago, he got Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? That he might have to play outside. If he goes to Arizona, Rams or Vikings, I don't. The Rams name had came up once before, but I don't know if the Rams are. I don't think the Rams are going to tank. Now if Sam Bradford Sam Bradford, if 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 Stafford gets hurt, then I think it's a done deal. I think they probably they're gonna play games and maybe get in a position to get him. I know he's a big Rams fan. That means he gets to stay at home. But um, Arizona could be the team. The Minnesota Vikings could be the team. And just think about this: if I'm Minnesota and they didn't give Kirk Cousins an extension, okay, and he was part of the first quarter, he was the first quarterback, got guaranteed money, because he only signed a 3-year deal, and that's probably one of the reasons why. But still, he got guaranteed money. If I'm the Jets with the defense I got, do I knock on the door? Do I say, Minnesota, what you want for Kirk? I give you my 5th, 6th, and 7th rounder to the Jets. 2025, yeah. Or 2025, okay. I can see that happening in 2025 because Stafford might retire this year. But they got the kid from Georgia. But now there's an issue with him for the Rams. They said they think he got a drinking problem. And Sean McVay's not really talking about it no more. He's not even entertaining any conversation about him. So there might be some issue behind the camera issue with that young man because he played well in preseason. I was happy with him. Do I think he could be the starting quarterback for my Rams? No, not really. I think he could be a good backup. I don't think he's tall enough, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, there's some issues with him, though. Again, I think they think it might be he might have an alcohol issue. You know, so hopefully he can get over that demon and play some good football. But you look at Arizona, Tampa, Minnesota. Now, if I'm gonna say this, if Chicago fires their coach, then I think they may look for another quarterback because they were looking for another quarterback this draft. They say if one of the quarterbacks are that much better than what we have, then I'm gonna go with them. But they end up trading their pick, you know what I'm saying, to Carolina or somebody like that, I think. So that's some issues with Williams if he goes there. But my question to you guys is this right here. Out of the top 10, who do you think is going to lose this weekend in the top 10? So you got Georgia, and Georgia got a cupcake schedule for real. They play at Auburn. That's a win. Auburn's not that good. And I got a question about Bo Nix. Michigan is number 2. They play Nebraska. That's a win. Ohio State plays Maryland. That's a win. Florida State is number 5. They play at Virginia Tech. That should be a win, but they're giving up a lot of points, man. They won. They beat Boston College 31-29. They beat Clemson 31-24. And they beat They beat LSU 45-24, and LSU is number 5. That not making any sense to me. That makes no sense at all. Okay, let's go back. How could LSU? Oh, LSU, no, they're not top 5. Okay, so we got Penn. We look at Penn State plays. That's my squad. They play Northwestern at Northwestern. That should be a win. Washington 4-0. Oh no, they got Arizona. That should be a win. That's 7. That's 8. USC, we know, plays Colorado. That should be a win. Oregon, number 9. Oregon plays at Stanford. That should be a win. Number 10 is Utah. Utah's 4-0. Utah plays. That game's, they're playing the game right now. That says live. So they're playing number 19 Oregon. Let me see what the score is with that game. Oh, Utah's losing 21-0 to Oregon. It's in the what quarter is in? 3rd and 4th. It's in the 4th quarter. That game, that pretty much over. So to answer the question, Utah's out of there. They're out of the top 10. The Utes are going to be gone. But that's the top 10 right there. That we have. So I don't. So Oregon be. I mean Utah be out of there. But the top. Ohio State's struggling a little bit too. I like the top 4. And I think this is the year they add in a couple more teams. I think they add in 2 more teams to the playoffs or something like that. So Georgia, I don't think as good as they seem to be, but their schedule is kind of soft. You know what I'm saying? They like there's anything like you said, soft. They like soft, like ice cream soft. So they play Auburn, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. The next team they play that's ranked is Florida. Right now, if they had to play games, they have Florida, who's ranked 22, Missouri, who's ranked 23, Ole Miss is ranked 20th, Tennessee is ranked 21, and Georgia Tech is not ranked. Ohio State changed quarterbacks, so you never know. Did they change the quarterback they had last week to a different quarterback this week? Because they struggled against Notre Dame. I knew the game was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be that close. 17-14, they couldn't score points. And if you look at Ohio State, really, you look at them going forward. You look at the wins they had: Indiana 23-3, Youngstown 35-7, Western Kentucky 63-10. When they played Notre Dame 17-14, and their schedule next, they only had 2 teams that's ranked: Penn State and Michigan. They play Michigan the last game of the season. Right, so that game's going to matter. It's going to matter, but everybody else is not ranked, and they probably won't be ranked. You said they changed quarterbacks for that game. Okay, and now they changed quarterbacks, but they struggled against Notre Dame. Notre Dame should have won that game, in my opinion. Notre Dame had their opportunities, and they didn't take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. But again, I'm not really impressed with Ohio State at all. And for them not to have a quarterback ready to go after my man left is not saying much about Ohio State, in my opinion. I'm just saying. So real quick, we got about 7 minutes left. We're gonna talk about some pro football. So my list, my top 5 right now has changed. In my top 5, Mr. Henderson, give me your top 5 if you got the opportunity to do that. My top 5, I got the Dolphins. Anytime you score 70 points on a professional team, that says something for me. Okay. Then I have the 49ers at number 2. Okay. Then I have the Eagles at number 3, only because they're undefeated, but they still struggling a little bit. They still struggle. And I got the Detroit Lions at number 4. And my number 5 team is Kansas City. Chiefs, because they struggled. Even though they won, they struggled. But the quarterback is young, and he flourished at the end of the game. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out. I think Harrison got hurt too. Oh, that's big right there. That's big if Harrison got. And I'm gonna say this to you, Mr. Henderson. If Harrison got hurt and it's a serious injury, he won't play. Even if he could come back and play, he's not gonna play the rest of the year. He's gonna sit out because he's trying to get to the NFL. And he know that might mess up his chances of going to the NFL. So Ohio State better find him a good wide receiver to replace him and a decent quarterback. Because if not, he's gonna be gone. Because this he got injured in the bowl game, and now he got injured again. That's not good for him. And we know his dad had a body of armor on him that he came to work every Saturday, every Sunday, and every Monday or every Thursday when he played in the league. You know what I'm saying? And I seen this kid play. His speed is incredible. He gets I know he can run a 4.2 easy. Easy. He can run a 4.2. Easy running 4.2. So those are my top 5 right there. And I threw the Chiefs in there, I threw the Eagles in there. Dallas dropped out. I have the Eagles I have 49ers, Eagles, Miami, Detroit, and Chiefs. Only thing I have, let's see, I got Dolphins, Chiefs. Okay, you got the same teams I got, but I just got them in different order. Yo, Miami, 70 points. That's a lot. 49ers look good. Eagles, it's something missing with the Eagles. Something's really missing with the Eagles. I think you can't play the game. You can't put your foot on the gas, take your foot off. Put your foot on the gas, take your foot off. Scenario with that team. That team gotta be ready. That team gotta be revved up and ready to go every game. You can't take it down off because somebody's coming after you because you went to Super Bowl. Miami is just crazy offensively, man. That's crazy. Detroit, if Goff could have played like that when he was with the Rams, we probably would have won. We probably would have had a better season last year because Matt Stafford got hurt last year. But he did poo-poo in the Super Bowl and then turn around and we lost to Seahawks because he threw an interception to nobody. They had a yellow and blue shirt on that game. And the Chiefs are just they anything they could. They just go up the hill, chugga, choo choo. That's what the Chiefs doing, chugga, choo choo. And then when they get to that point where when they get to the top of the hill, they're gonna be ready. They're gonna be definitely ready. They're gonna be ready. The defense got to get itself together. I think the lineman the defense tackle they got hurt. I think he pulled his groin. So they got to watch out for that because they just paid him a nice little piece of change and he came back. And that always happens when guys sit out of camp. Then they're not football ready. They want to get out there and play the game, but you have to prep your body to play this game. And it starts in the off season, starts in preseason. You just can't come off the street and put on the uniform and think you're going to be ready to go. I think the 49ers beat the Eagles last year. I have to agree with you on that. I have to agree with you on Purdy. Doesn't get hurt, but the Eagles will be a late season team. They can run the ball and stop the run. Also, they pressure the QB. Miami is all offense. Detroit is a national team, and I'm here for it. Chiefs will blossom mid-season. I totally agree with you on that. Miami, that's all they got. If you put up 75 points, who gonna match that? If you put up 35 points, 45 points, who gonna match that? Those guys are smoking though. Mr. Anderson, you gotta give them credit, man. You gotta give them credit. So we're gonna see how well this thing goes, man. We're gonna see how well this thing goes. But the football thing is my team, the Browns, looking really good. They look really good against Tennessee. The Rams poo-pooed on Cincinnati. If that touchdown for Atwater doesn't get called back, I think we blow them out. I do honestly think we blow them out. I think the Rams are better than what people think they are. I think that if the offensive line can stay healthy, we'll be good. Because last year our offensive line changed identity 17 times. They never had a game where they had the same offensive line last year. And if the offensive line can stay steady and everything else, and if the offensive line can stay steady, they'll be ready for whoever comes at them. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see what happens with this with pro football on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. And guys, remember this Sunday, I I can't remember who it is that plays. Let me look at the schedule real quick. The schedule. Somebody plays over in London, but they're playing. Is it this? Is it? Yeah. Wait, I thought it was this week coming up. Yeah. Who is it? Or is it next week? Oh no, it's this week. Atlanta at Jacksonville. But they're gonna have the play. They're gonna have. If you got Disney Channel, they're gonna show the game in like with toys, with like little toy football players. That's gonna be really interesting. That's something different. That's nice to come up with that. Who is your sleeper team this year? Meaning they will win a playoff game against a team that probably should not beat. I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you a team in the AFC and the NFC. In the NFC, I want to say Detroit, but we saw Detroit coming last year. Okay. I would say the Saints, but then the quarterback got hurt, so I can't say. I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Falcons. I think the Falcons could be a team that could be a sleeper team. They got pretty good defense, and they shouldn't have lost the game they lost the other day. So I think that would be my sleeper team in the NFC. The AFC. I would have to say the Colts. I think the Colts could be a sleeper team. I think they could win a playoff game. They got the right quarterback to help my man Richardson, which I think should have went higher than what he did. Because Minshew against Baltimore played a perfect game and won that game. But I tell you what though, so you think they'll make the playoffs? I think the Colts will make the playoffs. Jacksonville is riding off a high from last year. They're not playing really good they're not playing really good football right now. I don't know what's going on with them. I think they feel like they just got to come out. They step out on the field and they're okay. No, that's not going to be the case. The Colts are coming after them. The Colts are coming. And to be honest with you, Houston Texans are not playing bad football either. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're ready for the playoffs. But I think that the Colts is a team. But this is my prediction too. I predicted that, and I got up here on the board somewhere, that the AFC North, all the teams will make the playoffs. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. And it might come to fruition now because the issue I was having was if the Jets make the playoffs, then that gives them 3 teams. And so that couldn't happen. But now that the Jets probably not gonna make the playoffs, Miami, Buffalo, Colts win the division, Kansas City wins the division, and all 4 teams in the AFC North makes all of them win. They got to win at least 11 because somebody goes 13-4, okay, and somebody goes 12-5, then you might have 2 teams that have to go 11-7 and make the playoffs. I see it happening because even though they got to beat up on each other, if they beat up on each other, like Cleveland plays Baltimore this weekend. They've already played Cincinnati. They already played Pittsburgh. So they played Baltimore this week. So they got them out the way for the first half. And I think Cleveland, I'm just going over Cleveland. I'm looking at Cleveland's schedule. I don't know. I think the last let me look real quick before we get off the air here. The last week of the season, only team they play is Cincinnati, and they beat Cincinnati already. And the thing about it is with Cincinnati is Joe Burrows is 1-4, 1-5 against the Browns, believe it or not. So they kind of got his number. He beat them last year at the end of the season because Cleveland wasn't really playing good football. But they played Pittsburgh. They played Baltimore October 1st, and they turn around and play Baltimore and Pittsburgh in November, the 12th and 19th. They played them back to back, so they get them out of the way. Then they got Denver, the Rams, Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, the Jets, and Cincinnati. So they got winnable games. Pittsburgh is a quarterback away from being great. So you think so let me ask you a question. Do you think it's a quarterback or do you think it's an offensive coordinator? Because Pittsburgh Steelers fans I'm talking to don't like Canada or whatever his name is. they saying that he's the reason why the team is not flowing. What's your thoughts on that? But and they drafted my man because they said they was not gonna let that happen again, where they had a quarterback. I never did like Pickett. Well, the reason why they got Pickett is because they let Dan Marino walk on by them and went down to Miami and showed up and showed out. And they said they wasn't gonna allow that to happen again with Pickett because they felt like Pickett could have been another Dan Marino. We know Pickett's not another Dan Marino at all. He's nowhere close to being another Dan Marino right now. So that's why they went and got Pickett. I don't like Pickett either. I think he's too sporadic. This is his second year in the offense, and he had the same offense coordinator last year that he had this year. So everything he should be picking up on really quick. It should be a process that he picks up really quick now because you should know your plays. You should know what you should know down and distance what play is going to come through. They're not going to allow you to pick the play no more because that's how the NFL is. But you should know the play that's coming next. You know what I'm saying? And I think he processes that a little slow. He has too many weapons not to be flourishing. I agree. I totally agree with that. But again, like I said, I think that whole division makes the playoffs. Because it's setting them up. Because at the end of the season, they're done with come November, after Thanksgiving. The Browns don't play nobody else in the division until they play Cincinnati at the end of the season. So that's where I see that going. Mr. Henderson, I appreciate you hanging out with me all night tonight. It was a last minute thing. Usually, my shows are on Monday, but right now I help out in my high school. I do the scoreboard for who wins that division. I think Baltimore wins the division. I really do. I think Baltimore has the tools. Now, the problem with Baltimore is right now, they got 11 guys on the IR right now. Or not on the IR, but I think that are hurt. But if the Browns defense plays like it played against Tennessee, then the Browns have an opportunity of winning a division. I think that they still need another weapon on the offensive side. But now, I want you to listen to this real close now. Get closer to the mic. I'm going to tell you this. Everybody going to hear it, but it's a secret. If the Rams don't win, if they're not in playoff contention by trade deadline, look for Aaron Donald to be traded to the Cleveland Browns. That's just that's something that I'm letting you know, right? And so when it happens, you can say, "Yo, Kate Dix told me this is going to happen," because I got the inside information. They got the most cap room. They had the most cap room, but I think somebody did something with the team, and they got a little bit more cap room than the Browns. So the Browns has the most cap room right now. So yeah, that would be fire. With that defense they got right now, that would be fire. So I'm just letting you know that that's a possibility. I was going to tell Patrick, but I didn't get a chance to talk to Patrick yet about this situation. But it's a possibility that if the Rams don't win games or they're not in contentions to winning, and I think they've already talked to Aaron Donald about this. We're gonna give you an opportunity to try to win another Super Bowl before you retire. And that's something I heard. But man, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, usually I do my shows on Monday, but I help out with my football. I do the score for my JVs and my freshman team, and I keep score for the soccer team. So my days are really sporadic when I do my show. So I was supposed to do my show earlier today, but I forgot that I told my wife we could go to the movies, and I wasn't going to change that to do my show. But again, I appreciate you hanging out with me. As far as I know, Dana's dad's doing better. I think he's coming home. Keep him in prayer. Mo's mom's doing better. Keep her in prayer. For the first time in a long time, just keep me in prayer. But I haven't had a family member in any situations where they needed prayer, but I still pray for them anyway, because recently I've lost almost 4 cousins within the last 6 months. So they keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. It's a hard pill to swallow, but this is life. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta do the best we can with what we got. So, hey, but I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. You could have called in if you wanted to, but that's cool. I had Lou on, um, and Lou got off, but I was already in my flow, and I didn't want to mess it up. If Lou would have came on earlier, we could have got some conversation with Lou. But I was in my flow, and I just wanted to get it. When you get into that flow, and you moving, you grooving, you're shaking, you're baking, you talk, and you frying up the bacon. That was a rhyme, huh? And I was in that flow. I just didn't want it, no co-host at that time because I was just in my flow. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Um, I will be back on. I gotta look at my schedule. I know it won't be Monday. Glad I saw you on. I appreciate it, bro. It won't be Monday. I think I got a football game Monday. But I will post my shows on Facebook. And as far as like we're on television, but right now they're updating some stuff on the television station side, so we won't be on television for a minute. And once they get that back up and running, we'll be back on television as well. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Like us on YouTube. And we're just trying to have fun doing what we're doing. And actually tomorrow I'll probably be on Igor's show, the Shamrock, talking about the Boston Celtics tomorrow with him. Last question: who does Jonathan Taylor finish the season with? Oh man. Give me a second. Let me look at the teams. At the top of my head, oh my goodness. Not Baltimore, because I don't think they have a lot to give for him. Let me that you stunned me on that one. Let me go back and look at the standings. Where is it at? I think Buffalo might be in giving mood. I think he could go to Buffalo. They need a running game. He'd be perfect in Buffalo, I think. I think Buffalo. But he said he wasn't hurt though. He said he wasn't hurt. He said he never told nobody he was hurt. But they put him in a PUP. I don't know why, but I don't. First of all, I don't like their owner. I don't like the Colts owner at all. But I think Buffalo would probably be the spot for him. To be honest with you, I don't see him going. I don't see him nowhere else. I don't see him nowhere else going nowhere else. To help out. Because I would have said Minnesota, but they already got Cam Akers up there, so they got the two-headed back up there. Arizona, he wants to go somewhere and win. I would say the Rams, but I think the Rams are in love with the guys they got right now. Man, I'm gonna say Buffalo. I'm gonna say Buffalo, dude. I'm gonna say Buffalo. We'll see where that goes with that. We'll see if he goes to Buffalo. All right, bro, man. You have a good night. Be safe. I gotta charge my iPad up because I film the varsity games tomorrow, and I'm gonna get ready to get off here, and I'm gonna go and binge watch All American. I have finished watching All American. I'm gonna binge watch that, and that should put me to sleep for the rest of the night. So, hey man, brother, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, and whoever else is on the line, out there watching the show. It says 2 people. I don't know who the other person is. The other person didn't really say anything, but it was a lot of fun tonight. Sometimes you just gotta do what you do, you know. So here we go.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brett Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson. We also have the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network LLC. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by K. Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, with Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, and Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big-time players make big-time plays and big-time games. Stay ready to be ready. You have been listening to an In the Zone Sports Talk radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on star107fm.com on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.